Hi, my name is Shelby Block. I'm a fourth grade teacher, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use the Common Core strategy of dividing using the area model. And I'm going to demonstrate this using a problem, 645 divided by 3. Now, if you have talked to your child or your student about using this model or this method before, it is very similar to using the box method for multiplication, but since multiplication and division are inverse, they're inverses, we're going to set it up very similar, but then we're going to go from there. So I'm going to start off by drawing a rectangle and dividing it into 3 sections because I have 645, which is a 3-digit number. But I'm not going to set it up like in the area model or the box method for multiplication. I'm not going to set it up by piecing this out. I'm just going to start by putting my 645 right here because that's the goal number that we're trying to get to. It's what we're taking from. Since we can think of division as repeated subtraction. We're going to put 3 over here. And now we're going to be coming up with which other factor we would put at the top to get as close as we can to our number. So I like to put a little box around our target number because I don't want it to get confused with the multiplication that I do. So I know that 3 times something is going to come really close to 645. And I'm going to start by just focusing on the 600. So I'm going to start off at the bottom, and I'm just going to write the facts that I know. So 3 times 1 equals 3. That's way too low, so I want to go up higher. I know that 3 times 10 equals 30. That's still too low. I can get higher. So I'm going to do 3 times 100, and that equals 300. And we know this by the power of 10 that we've talked about with place value. But actually, I could get even higher than that because I know that 3 times 2 equals 6. I'm going to try to get to 600 here. So I'm going to do 3 times 200. And that equals 600. But just to make sure that I can't go higher, I'm also going to write the next fact. I'm going to put 3 times 300. I know that equals 900 since 3 times 3 equals 9. But that's too high. So I'm going to cross it off. Now, I put my other factor. I already have my 3. I put the 200 at the top, which is my divisor here. Or I'm sorry, it ends up being what we're doing to multiply. And we have 3 times 200, and that equals 600. So I'm going to write it below, because that's what we would put in the box if we were multiplying. Now, I'm going to subtract because I want to find out how much I have left, and I end up with 45 left over. But I can still put 3 into 45, so it's not a true remainder. So I'm going to bring it over. I'm going to put it in another box just so I don't get confused. And I know that I'm trying to find a factor that pairs with 3 to make 45. Now, you might finish it in this step, or it might take your child or your student a little bit longer. So I'm going to just stick with the simple fact of 3 times 10. I know that that equals 30. So I'm going to put a 10 at the top, because 3 times 10 make 30. And then I'm going to subtract, and I end up with 15. I still can fit 3 into 15, so I'm going to bring my 15 over. Put my 15 up in a box because I know that that's my target number. And I know the fact that 3 times 5 equals 15. So I'm going to put 5 at the top. I'm going to write 15 because 3 times 5 equals 15. I'm going to subtract, and I end up with 0 left over, so 0 remainder. But I'm not finished. Now, I need to add all of my quotients, my partial quotients, up to make my final answer, which would be 200 plus 10 plus 5. This is my 200. This is my 10, this is my 5. Now I'm going to add them, so I know that my answer is 215.